They say African threading is the best way to stretch natural hair, especially kinky coarse hair that you want to straighten without heat damage. But no one ever talks about how painful African threading can be. As someone who does African threading as a way of straightening my kinky coarse fobi fussy hair, you can see the texture of my hair. This is what my hair looks like when it's not stretched. I've not used heat here and I've not straightened it with any form of straightening at all. So as someone who uses thread to straighten my hair, I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how you can do African threading in the least painful way. Welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is Evie, and for this channel my primary content niche is DIY hair care. So I post tutorials and things on how to care for your hair and get it to its healthiest state using the simplest but most efficient methods, products, techniques, and so on and so forth. For today, I'm going to be taking you through an African threading tutorial, a DIY African threading tutorial, and the object I'm going to be using for this demo is myself. First things first, I'm going to be pre-parting my hair. Pre-parting is going to take the bulk of the work off of my hands, and it's also a very efficient method of making sure that all of your parts are about the same size. Doing this first is also going to help you make sure that once you start working on your hair after the parting, you don't come back to part your hair and work, part your hair and work, part your hair and work. In essence, what I'm trying to say is that by the time you are done parting, sectioning off your hair, once it's time to start working, you know you're just going to be doing whatever style you want to do from start to finish without breaks and without pausing to wonder if your sections are accurate or if they are on point. And I do this for most of my hairstyles, especially ones that I need to make sure that all the sections are almost the same size or about the same size. So my hair is also already moisturized. I did this African threading 1 week after my wash. So if you want to wash your hair first before you thread, you can go ahead and do that. Personally, I prefer to thread my hair when it is dry. There are people that don't mind doing thread when their hair is damp or wet, but I like my own threading done on dry hair to maximize the stretch and to make sure I don't wear the thread for longer than 24 hours. If your hair is wet, it will take a longer time for your hair to dry in the thread compared to if your hair is threaded when it's dry. It goes without saying. So I'm simply parting my hair, and I did a number of sections. You'll see the total number of sections. You can decide to work with whatever number of sections you want. I also don't like to make mine too small so that I can hurry up and leave the place. But yes, you can definitely make your sections smaller. I will not really advise you to make them bigger than a certain size, because the bigger you make them, the longer it will take for your hair to stretch. So yes, I like to keep mine a moderate size. That was a little background info for the pre-parting. Remember, this is how I do it because I do the threading myself. Everything that I do here and every step that I take here is to maximize getting the best out of the threading. So if you have someone that's going to thread your hair for you, that's going to be way easier because you won't have to strain yourself so much to make sure that you get the threading as close to perfect as you possibly can. Now, moving on to the thread I'm using, there are several types of threads you can use. I'm using Brazilian wool. Brazilian wool is a personal favorite of mine. This is what it looks like, and I went ahead to unravel it, and this is the length that I got. It was quite long to cover the length of my hair without me having to double the thread as I go. There are a number of different threads you can use. There is Brazilian wool, there is the standard thread for threading African hair, there is also yarn or baby wool, which I have also tried before, and then there is rubber thread. All of these are different things you can use to thread your hair. Just a quick Google search on each of them will get you results, pictures showing what they look like, and you can pick the one you want to use. Now, Brazilian wool almost looks like braiding hair, but it's wool, so it comes like in pieces like this. So you can see it's almost as if it's strands, just that these strands are quite big. So I just picked 5 strands per section, and you can see what it looks like here. I didn't brush the strands out. I just used them as they are. It doesn't matter whether you brush them out or not, and I was definitely trying to reduce the workload for myself. So I just packed the rest of my hair that I was not working with, and typically I start from the front or the sides of my head, but today the video is going to actually focus on how to do the back of your head. The back is always a problem area for people because they can't really see the back, and most people have not been doing their hair long enough to master doing the back very well to get amazing results. So what you want to do when you do the back is you have to turn your head depending on the side of your hair you're working on, left or right side. If you're working on the right side like here, you have to turn your head to the left as far as you can go, and then when you grab your hair, try to make sure you hold all the hair in the center as much as possible, and then go ahead and wrap that thread around from your scalp to the end. Then you repeat that same technique for the rest of your hair. The sides and the front are easier, but for the back, you can see how much centered the sections at the back are. So I got this done by turning my head as far as I could go to the left side when I was working on the right, and the right side when I was working on the left. I would say it really is that simple, but it all depends on you. Remember, practice makes perfection, and I know thread is not something that you do back to back, but if it's something you do back to back, that's still fine. Just make sure that you practice when you can, on your head, on someone else's head, whenever you get the chance. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And now let's talk about the steps that I take to make sure this hairstyle is not so painful when I do it. African threading is something that when you do on your hair, because of the way you grab all the sections together and because of the fact that you start the threading right at your scalp, it can be very, very painful. Now, starting the threading at the scalp makes you have better stretch. There are people that give a little gap at the roots before they start the threading process, but that just makes the roots puffy, and the entire point of threading is to stretch the hair out. So the closer you start at your scalp, the better stretch you're going to get. Now, starting at the scalp just makes the hairstyle very painful. What I do is I do give a little room, and then when I grab all the hair and I do the first 2 or 3 turns of the thread from my scalp, I wiggle it a little. That's I just move the hair around the root a little to loosen it up a bit before I continue and finish up the entire section all the way to the tips of my hair. This way, if I need to pack all the sections to the back, it won't be so painful that I'll be uncomfortable, but my hair will still be stretched. And I was able to finish. Now I'm going to give you guys a few tips. I don't moisturize my hair in protective styles like thread. When I thread, it's strictly to stretch my hair, but there are people who moisturize their hair and then wear the style for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, etc. When I was younger, I used to wear the style for up to 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It was a proper protective style back then, but now I just use it to stretch because it's very uncomfortable to sleep in and I detest discomfort. But anyhow, I rounded up and I left this in for 24 hours and then took it down. Stay tuned for a part 2. I'm gonna get into loosening the thread and what I did afterwards. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.